and welcome to episode 6? 7? I'm not really sure, but welcome to the next episode of the Geeky Cauldron. We're going to be discussing Hyde, the most recent episode of Doctor Who. I am very pleased with this episode. It was really well done. It was one of the better ones of the season. Neil Cross did a really just bang up job. Really excellent. Okay, I'm not letting you in. The episode initially seemed like it was going to be a really scary horror episode, kind of like Blink, but it ended up being a lot more intriguing than that, and a little bit more love story, sci-fi alien thing. So it was cool. Ex-wartime hero Alec Palmer and his empath Emma, and an empath means she has like a strong psychic ability and power, and she's empathetic towards spirits. And they're clearly in the 70s. I mean, based on her outfit and that friggin' collar, they are very obviously in the 70s. And they're in this creepy old mansion called Caliburn House, and they're trying to contact a ghost. And they contact the ghost. You see them fiddling with all the equipment, and he takes out like one of those big giant satellite dish things. And she contacts the ghost, and she calls to it, and it comes like rushing at her and like goes into her, and she's like, oh my god, and like falls over. And the next thing you know, there's a knock on the door, and it's knocking, and you're like, oh my god, this is so creepy. And they open up the door, and there's nothing on the other side, and then Matt Smith's head pops out the side of the door, and it's him and Clara, and they're the Ghostbusters apparently. Then, you know, the Doctor and Clara decide that they want to explore this entire house, and the reason why they're even allowed in this house in the first place is the Doctor lies and says he's part of a military intelligence group because he happens to know everything about Alec Palmer, probably because he looked into him, because he can do that, because he can go anywhere in time. And he starts spewing all these things, you know, you're a war hero, you did this, you did that, you're blah 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 blah. Sorry. So him and Clara decide that they're going to explore the house, and Emma, the empath, tells them that the music room is the heart of the house. So they're walking around, they feel a couple weird things here and there, and they get into the music room, and Clara asks the Doctor if he feels that weird tickly feeling in the back of his neck like he's being watched, and he feels it, and, you know, they're kind of being watched. The thing that I kept noticing was that there was like this creepy, like cracking, bony thing that was like popping up in certain areas of the house, and they were like quickly you would see it and then it would disappear, and then you would see it and it would disappear, and it was like really creepy, and I did not like it. It scared me. I will say that when they got into the music room, I was like shitting my pants because there were a bunch of statues in the room over, and I was just like, angels, angels, oh my god, angels, don't blink, we're screwed. And it really freaked me out. It like terrified me. The Doctor finds like a cold spot in the house, and he draws a big giant circle, and he's like, it's cold here, it's warm here, it's cold here, it's warm here. That's weird. Strange. So he and Clara are officially, you know, they have the official ghost haunty thing happen, and they run into the main room where they're doing everything, and they see that the instruments are going off the wall, and the whole house is turning cold, and this big disc thing like starts rotating in the middle of the room, and you have no idea what it is, and the like house, like the wall says "Save Me" on it, and it's all this creepy stuff. And so they look at these pictures of this ghost, and Alec Palmer says like, this ghost has been here longer than the house has been here. They call her the Witch of the Well, but there is no well. And she looks, these are all of the pictures of her. And in every picture, she's doing the same thing. She's like reaching out. It looks like genuinely scary. Like, I'm very scared of it, and I did not like it, and it creeped Clara out, and it creeped the Doctor out. And they're just like genuinely freaked. So the Doctor and Alec and Clara and Emma kind of separate. They get into little like sex-related groups. Not sex, like gender. The Doctor and Alec start talking in the dark room, and they're talking about, you know, things that are really kind of sort of about Alec, but kind of sort of really about the Doctor, and about how once you've seen so many things and seen so many terrible things, you know, you want to do something else, like good. You want to help a ghost from the past, you know, Because basically the doctor asks him, how does a military hero come up to buying this ridiculous mansion and just live here and look for ghosts all the time? And he's like, well, you know, I've seen some shit. And Emma and Clara are having a conversation in another room, and Clara's kind of doing the things that girls always do, like, he likes you, like, what are you doing? Like, about Emma and Alec. And she's like, no, I don't think he does. And she's like, it's obvious, can't you tell? And so she asks Clara about her and the doctor, and she's like, no, like, I don't think so. And she's like, Emma says, be careful, he has a sliver of ice in his heart. And I was like, okay. Obviously, this was a lead-in into what happens next. And what ends up happening is the doctor takes the TARDIS from the beginning of the planet to the end of the planet to this exact spot. And he takes a bunch of pictures. And if anybody else noticed this, I freaked the fuck out when I saw this. He's in the TARDIS, and they run back to the TARDIS, they leave the mansion, they run back to the TARDIS because he has an idea. Like, he wants to see what this section of where Caliburn House is, what it looked like at every single point in time. And he goes into, like, the closet of the TARDIS and brings out the orange, like, spacesuit that David Tennant wears in The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit. Like, that orange suit with the yellow thingy that, like, Rose kissed on the head, and, like, he took it out, and I was like, holy shit, like, oh my god, he's gonna wear what David Tennant wore, like, how is nobody gonna, like, freak out about this? And he wears it because he goes out to the planet as it's beginning, and then he goes back out to the end, and Clara's watching it all on the monitor, and when he comes back in, she's, like, crying, and she's like, it doesn't upset you that you just watched the entire planet Earth from birth to death? Like, what if I'm dead there? And he's like, I mean, maybe you are, I don't know. And she's like, is that what we all are to you? We're just, like, dead people, and, like, people that you keep around, but, like, technically you've seen us all die. And he just responds to her that you're the only mystery worth solving. And I mean, he's not really saying that about all of the companions. I don't know if he was maybe talking about humanity too, because he just doesn't understand it sometimes, but obviously it was hearkening to the fact that Clara is a huge mystery that he doesn't understand. The doctor obviously figures out what's going on, and it's not that it's a ghost. He's saying that what if this ghost is actually trapped in a place where time just moves a lot slower than it does here. And she's trapped in a pocket universe, and it's a universe within a universe that is just going to collapse upon itself. And at first I was like, pocket universe, wearing the David Tennant suit, maybe it's like an alternate universe, oh my god, they're going to make Rose and Ten come back and it's going to have to do with this, but it didn't. And he basically says her name is Hilla something, and she's this time traveler, and she's stuck in this pocket universe that's collapsing, and we have to go get her because she'll die. So the doctor fashions this vesty thing that apparently will get him through the other dimension because it has a rope, and he asks Emma to use her psychic abilities to make a deep connection to this alternate universe, and he puts all these clocks around her and makes this big giant thing that's going to recreate the alternate universe that they're just going to be able to jump into. So he does. He jumps into the alternate universe, he undoes his vest, and he finds Hilla. And him and Hilla are running through this forest. It's basically a forest floating on a rock that's like with time collapsing all around it. And he's like, we don't know how much time we have, but it's probably not a lot. They explained why the TARDIS can't go in there. Apparently the TARDIS goes in there and it's gonna like use all its energy just getting in there. Don't ask me how it goes in there later, spoiler alert, but it does. And he gives Hilla the vest and he thinks he has enough time to get back, but Emma's psychic power is like waning and she's in excruciating pain from doing this, so she actually runs out of energy and collapses and breaks the psychic bond and sticks the doctor in this alternate universe, this pocket universe with no way out. So Clara's freaking out, like, you have to save him, you can't do this, and this is absurd. Like, Hilla is now in this mansion, like, sitting there in the 70s, like, waiting, like, hey, like, I guess you just saved me, I don't know what's going on, and everyone's freaking out. This is where the line from the preview, I am the doctor and I'm scared, comes, because he's running around and he keeps hearing this, like, bone-cracking thing, and it's the same thing that's in the house. It's the same, like, creepy, crawly, bony, cracky thing, and it's, like, laughing and making all these weird noises, and he's, like, totally freaked out by it, and he gets cornered by this thing, and it, like, knocks him on the ground, and it's, like, standing over him, and all of a sudden, like, at the same time as Clara runs to the TARDIS, and she runs to the TARDIS and tries to get in, and once again, the TARDIS is like, I don't like you, I'm not going to let you in, because there was 2 points in this episode. The first time was where she told the doctor, I feel like it's staring at me and it doesn't like me, and he said the TARDIS is like a cat, it takes a really long time to trust people. She tries to get into the TARDIS and it won't open up the door, and it just makes a noise at her, and then the TARDIS interface pops up, and it's Clara, And it's like, oh yeah, we figured we'd make a human form, you know, that you liked the best, so we made it yourself. And she's like, wow, you really are a cow. Let me in. And it's like, we can't go into the alternate universe. Like, it's not going to happen. And she's like, we have to go save him, blah, blah, blah. The door opens. I don't know if that was the TARDIS testing her and seeing, like, if she was really trustworthy and, like, deciding it was going to argue with her and then realizing, okay, maybe she's worth it. Or I don't know if she just made it clear enough that the Doctor was in danger and the TARDIS was like, fine. Either way, don't ask me how the TARDIS is then able to go into the pocket universe, but it does. And at the same time it goes into the pocket universe, Emma is making a psychic connection, and she psychic connects to this land again and actually materializes the TARDIS in the center of the mansion. So the Doctor gets picked up by the TARDIS, almost gets killed by this creepy, cracky monster thing. You know, like, Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. They're awesome and back and safe. And you think the episode is going to end, but the Doctor pulls Emma to the side and is like, I didn't stop here for all of this. I stopped here for you. You need to tell me about Clara. What's her deal? She's like, what do you mean, what's her deal? She's a perfectly normal girl, but I will tell you she's more scared than she lets on. I feel like there wasn't much in that. Like, if you were trying to, like, give me some more of a hint about Clara, you could have given me something a little bit better than that, because she's more scared than she lets on could be about any companion that's ever traveled with him, because that's what they do. Then you also realize that this episode hasn't been a ghost story. It hasn't even been like a creepy sci-fi world connecting thing. It's been a love story, because that creepy, cracky thingy that you've seen in the mansion and in the pocket universe, there are actually two of them. One of them, the guy, is in the pocket universe, and the other one, the girl, is in the mansion, and they're separated lovers, creepy, cracky, bony creature lovers, and they just want to get back together. And the Doctor then jumps back into the alternate universe, the pocket universe, and you see that this creepy, cracky, crawly thing has like the stupidest face. You were not expecting. It was like like its mouth was all stupid. He basically reunites them, and he figures out that the reason the psychic has such a strong connection with Hilla is because she's Hilla. Hilla is her great-great-great-great-great-grandchild that she has with Alec. So it's like Emma and Alec forever, a lull, so cute. And it basically ends just like that. It's a love story, ghost, sci-fi, future time travel episode, and it was really good. And once again, like, the first couple episodes were kind of weak, and Cold War and this are like two really good back-to-back episodes, like top two. I think Hyde may be better than Cold War. I actually think Journey to the Center of the TARDIS is going to be the best one, which is the episode that they're doing next week, which shows the Doctor screaming at Clara, are you some sort of trap? And, I mean, we're really going to get into what Clara is. Like, we're really going to get into it. Especially because I noticed she gets trapped in the TARDIS, and there's a preview of, like, some creepy black figure, like, standing behind her, and with these red-ass eyes, and it looked like her body type. Like, it was her shape. It looked like Jenna Louise Coleman, like, in a creepy monster suit. Like, the way the hips were, the legs were, the arms, everything, it looked like her. So I don't know if that meant anything. I also noticed in the pictures for the next few episodes that there's another episode coming up, and you see Clara in Victorian garb. So, is it really Clara Osmond Oswald in that episode? Or is it like just Clara putting on Victorian clothes, but it looks just like her? And she's making like the Victorian Clara face, so I don't know. I have to mention that I converted my best friend, Katie, to a Whovian just a few days ago. I made her start watching. She has blown through Eccleston. I figured she should start from the reboot. She's blown through Eccleston. She's now like past the Satan pit on Tennant, and she's just obsessed with it, and I'm so happy. So shout out to Katie for being a Whovian. Welcome. You are warmly welcomed with open arms, and you are now held in the highest regard with the deepest esteem, because holy shit, we are the coolest people in the world, Whovians. I mean, it's true. Also want to talk to you guys, thinking about getting a circular Gallifreyan tattoo. I really want to get Bad Wolf with like a galaxy around it. Just throwing that out there. Obviously, next week we're going to be doing another one of these about Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, and I think I'm going to have a lot more stuff to say about Clara. Sorry for the delay. Once again, health has played into my life and is delaying me in everything, and I'm also working like a frick ton. So, comments, as always, much needed, much loved, and much anticipated. Anybody who wants to troll, you are welcome to troll. The last troll got kicked off by you guys very quickly, and it was awesome. So, I love you guys. We're slowly growing, and every single day I see more subscribers and more comments and more views, and it's like amazing. It's so humbling, and also ego boosting at the same time. and I love it. So definitely keep it up. I'm gonna keep it up if you keep it up. So we'll have this thing going here. We're gonna make a good YouTube relationship, and it's gonna be very even. So next week, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. This has been Geeky Cauldron. I'm gonna go watch The Voice or something stupid like that. I don't know. Probably The Voice, or I need to shower too. Like that would be kind of important. So yeah, bye guys. See you later.